What's up, creepers? Welcome to Phin and Bryn Spoops.
Welcome to day 4.
We watched The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man, directed by Leigh Whannell, who is one of our favorite directors, or one of our favorite writers. This is our favorite movie that he's directed. It's his third one, so third time's the charm. Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Yeah. Leigh Whannell, he brought us the Saw franchise, and he also brought us the Insidious franchise, and he is amazing, and he's funny because he was also, if you don't know, who did he play in Saw?
Adam. Okay, yeah, Adam. You're like, Adam.
He played Adam, who was locked in the bathroom with Carrie Elwes, and he did not survive. So, spoiler on Saw if you haven't seen Saw. But he is an amazing, amazing Australian director Australian writer, and now I'm putting him on my list of directors. So, we really like Leigh Whannell over here. So, this was, what did you rate it?
5 skulls. 5 skulls. That's how good it was.
We both rated it 5 skulls. Yeah, 5 skulls. We are very... Elizabeth Moss plays a woman named Cecilia, who we actually get to start right in the middle of their, the end of their relationship.
Yeah.
They don't do any establishing because she's such a good actress. They didn't need to.
Yeah.
What's happening? And when we meet Cecilia?
When we meet Cecilia, she is waking up at 3 a.m., I think, right? It was around 3 a.m., and she's getting ready to escape his house.
She is getting out. She is getting out. She is in an abusive relationship with a narcissist sociopath, played by Oliver Jackson Cohen, or Oliver Cohen Jackson. I can't remember which one it is. He played Luke in The Haunting of Hill House, and we like him. He also played the Scarecrow.
Oh, in Emerald City.
In Emerald City.
I'm not sure if you know what that is.
It was a TV show that lasted, I think, 1 season, and he was very beautiful in it, and I really like him. But you don't see him very much in this movie.
Yeah.
So he was on the set apparently a lot, so she would have something to bounce off of. But you don't see him. I think maybe you see him 10, 15 minutes through the whole movie, tops.
Yeah, added up.
Yeah, added up. Tops? Yeah.
No, I think longer than that because of those other scenes.
I don't know, but very little. You see very, very, very little of Adrian. He is a Silicon Valley tech wizard, an optics tech wizard, and he is very controlling of Cecilia. He controls what she eats, who she sees, she says that how she thinks even.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cecilia is definitely getting out of there. Her sister meets her on the road, and he punches through the window because he sees her, because she wakes up when she tries to save their doggo and couldn't take the doggo.
And the doggo bumped the car.
Yeah, an alarm went off and woke him up. Even though she put a lot of diazepam in his drink before he went to bed, he still woke up. What we love about The Invisible Man is...
So, the camera work, especially. I noticed this in the trailers and during the movie. These scenes have, sometimes they'll linger like someone's there when there's no one there, as if someone should be there. Or if it's the negative space in the frame where someone should be.
Yes, you definitely notice where someone's not. They do long panning shots. So you can see a sweeping, and then they pause because your brain is telling you there's supposed to be somebody there, but there isn't anybody there. He did an amazing job with these setup shots.
Yeah, these shots.
Because there'll be times when Cecilia is sitting in a room, and you know that they have balanced this frame for 2 people,
but
there's only Cecilia.
I'm pretty sure this is in the trailer. There's a kitchen shot in this trailer where she's on one half of the kitchen and there's no one on the left side, and you feel like someone should be there.
Right.
So.
It's not only giving you a clue, clues you into what's going on with Cecilia's stalking, because he's supposedly dead, so nobody believes her that he is around, because supposedly after she left, he kills himself, and now all of a sudden she feels him watching her constantly, and she's starting to have some severe agoraphobia where she can't leave the house. She's so scared. But then when he starts making her feel like he's in the house, and when the camera work starts making the audience feel like he's in the house, we are getting the exact same heightened paranoia that Cecilia is. And it starts to build up the longer it goes on. Cecilia is staying with her friend, who is played by Aldous Hodge. He is on Turn, Washington's Spies, and he is her, I guess her and her sister's best friend.
Yeah.
He is a cop, and he has a teenage daughter named Sid, and she is staying with them, and he is spectacularly hot.
Yeah. He is. Spectacularly.
He's distracting. He's really, really good because he is trying very hard to have patience with somebody who's going through so much trauma, and he understands her trauma, and the amount of patience that this man has until something happens with his daughter. We are going to have a lot of spoilers in this, so because I assume a lot of you have seen it. It's on HBO right now if you haven't.
So, should we give a countdown right now so we can talk about different things?
Yes, we'll do a countdown right now. So 5, 4,
4,
3, 2, 1.
All right. So I hoped if those of you who haven't watched it went and watched it and came back, because it is so good. And
It's
those
worth
of you who
watching.
already watched it, thanks for staying.
Yeah, we hope that you agree with us, because there is a point in the movie where she's talking to Cecilia, Sid, James's daughter, his teenage daughter, is talking to Cecilia, and Adrian smacks her. I mean, I don't know if he backhands her or what, but he hits her hard.
Yeah.
And because Sid can't see him, she assumes that Cecilia did it, and that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back, because James is like, I have to take care of my daughter now, and I love you, but I can't have your trauma be her trauma right now. So that's when her world starts falling apart, because he also sends Adrian also sends an email to her sister saying, I hate you, I wish you had died instead of him. So her sister has cut her off too. She only has 2 points of contact outside of her relationship with Adrian, and he has completely cut her off from both of them, and she has nothing right now. She was always dependent on Adrian for her friends, for her lifestyle, because he won't let her work, and now she has nothing. And she tells him, she knows, she feels him in the room constantly, and she's like, why pick me? You could have anybody. You're rich, you're good looking. Why would you do this to me when I have nothing left to give you? Nothing. So we are going to discuss, she finally starts to convince her sister Emily at a restaurant in a public space.
Oh, and so when she's getting convinced, so there's a knife, and the knife starts floating, and what's the sister's name again? Emily notices the knife, and then he slits her throat, and then puts the knife in Cecilia's hand, and everyone looks over, and she's holding a bloody knife, and her sister has her.
So she has nobody now, because James has to
take care of his daughter.
He's also the police.
Yeah.
And she's now now she's been charged with murdering her sister. So she's put into a psych ward. Yeah, she's put into a psych ward for evaluation. And he kills everybody in the psych ward.
Like, takes out like all the cops.
It turns out he has a suit, and the suit, I'm a sci-fi nerd, and I appreciate the sci-fi-ness of the suit. It's a lot of cameras.
Yeah. It's just a bunch of cameras. Like, it feels weird because it looks like a bunch of eyeballs.
It does.
So it feels weird.
It reminds me of...
Isn't there a Titan that has a bunch of eyeballs?
No, it's Hera's bodyguard. He's covered with eyeballs, and I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, he's covered completely. It's a suit that's completely covered in cameras, and I guess it's adjusting the optics, or I don't know. It's some tech
and
stuff.
It sounds cool.
It sounds cool. It sounds a little Predator-ish, though.
You can hear it like focusing.
Who also was, invisible.
Which there is a problem with that, because if his feet had the cameras, they'd have to constantly like refocus, so you would hear that. And then if he didn't have cameras on his feet, then you would be able to see him walking on the bottom of his feet.
I disagree.
Why?
Because
they'd have to refocus because it's going up and down.
He can't walk on camera lenses. We're
Then you would be able to see the bottom of his foot.
We thought about this last night too.
But yeah, you'd be able to see the bottom of his foot then.
Okay, so let's talk about the tightness of the script. This script was so trimmed down that if you think that you can skip not listening to a conversation, you're
wrong.
You're dead wrong.
You're wrong.
We had to rewind a couple of times because we were like, oh, did we just miss something? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I appreciate a very tight script. The editing was, and it's a 2-hour movie, so it must have been much longer because it's been tooled really, really well down to the bare minimum of what they needed, because they told a very, very tight story. The pacing was really good. This was part of Universal's.
Was it?
It was. It wasn't. Yes, it was.
It's now? You like...
I looked it up.
Okay.
Okay, it is part of Universal's failed Dark Universe series. They started with, I think it was Dracula Untold, and that tanked, so then they rebooted it with Tom Cruise's The Mummy, and that tanked. So nobody apparently loves my Universal monsters. I'm so sad.
Those are Universal.
They are going to continue making these movies, but they are going to be not a shared universe, which makes me kind of sad. So that means I'm never going to get my Frankenstein versus the Wolfman again. It's an actual movie.
What would you want to have? What two monsters would you have battle?
The Mummy and the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
That's a good one. I'd say I was thinking the Invisible Man, because like an invisible person fighting, that's pretty good against. Who do you think's the strongest out of them?
Well, if you fought the Creature from the Black Lagoon, that he would get all wet and you'd see a suit. So that's against the Invisible Man, I think
Frankenstein.
Dracula can shapeshift. He's like, bat!
What was that? Bat!
It's from What We Do in the Shadows, the show.
Oh.
Every time he turns into one, remember, bat! So, yes, if you watched the preview and you really liked the preview, we are sad to say
most of those scenes were not in the actual movie.
They took out the handprints.
The handprint. She did take a shower, but there was no handprint.
No handprint.
There was something else. She found like a pill box.
Well, actually, I actually looked it up, and he said that he thought the pills that were sitting on there was tightened the anxiety a little bit more than the handprint did. The floating phone of him taking the picture of him sleeping.
The pictures, like, he did take the pictures, except she didn't see the phone. She was pulling the sheet back on, and he stepped on the sheet.
Yeah, that was creepy. I hated that.
And walked towards her. Oh,
yeah, she was pulling the
and
sheet.
The seat one, there's someone in that chair. She does sit she doesn't sit in front of the chair. She sees the chair, and she says, like they come in, and
I don't remember her saying it though.
She looks at the chair, and you can see the indent. But
so they took out a lot of stuff.
The scene where she's in the attic and she pours the paint on him, that's when my mom noticed it was a suit.
And I screamed really loud. And it was a little bit...
That was scary. That part was like... that part was in. I know. I like my shirt keeps falling back like that, and I need it against my neck for some reason.
Okay. Anyway, we think so. We watched it in the dark, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun to watch it in the dark. If you like atmospheric movies and you can handle some of the triggers, like I said, it's such a good movie. It was filmed entirely in Australia because Lee is an Australian director, which is funny because he's supposed to live in Silicon Valley, I think. Oh no, not Silicon Valley. Right north of the Stilson Beach, right north of the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's a pine forest around the house, but
No, the pine trees don't grow in Australia.
not naturally. So
it was a Christmas. You said it was
a Christmas tree lot.
So
I guess she had to run diagonally because otherwise you'd notice that they were in rows. But I really appreciated Lee for bringing bringing the Invisible Man. Oh, there's a cute little shout out to Claude Rains, the original Invisible Man in it. When she's in the hospital, they wheel a man out.
And he's covered in bandages.
He's covered in bandages, so that was cute. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate Jason Blum for Blumhouse Productions is really important to me because they make a lot of movies that wouldn't necessarily get made, a lot of horror movies. They usually have a smaller budget and they usually concentrate a lot more on characters, and they are hit or miss. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, yeah, but Bryn, all those Hulu movies that the Blumhouse has been doing, they suck. They do. But you know what? You get a horror movie every month about the holiday for that month, and that's fun. So stop crapping on Blumhouse Productions. They are doing God's work for horror movie fans. I think they're the house. I would call them the house Paranormal Activity built, because the success of Paranormal Activity really upped them. So yes, check it out. And we actually don't know what we're gonna watch tonight.
We'll figure it out.
We are going to watch a classic soon, something I've seen that he hasn't. We're going to watch Silence of the Lambs soon. Hannibal Lecter. There you go. So, we might watch it tonight because we haven't had a classic one this week. A classic horror movie. Okay. So we will watch. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow with Silence of the Lambs. So check it out, everybody. Remember to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you really liked Invisible Man or if you hated it and you think we're nuts. So
oh yeah, the trailer should be in the description or on
as usual.
Card.
As usual. Okay.
Yeah, right. The card should be about
right
there. No,
there.
It's on that side. Yeah, right there.
All right. Bye. See you tomorrow, creepers.